Hey everyone, it is me, Dukect, live on this Friday evening here on the Dukect Lounge. Phone number, as always, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. And if you want to do the shoe phone, ladies and gentlemen, and connect to me, just all you got to do is go on TalkShoe, download the TalkShoe Pro 2.0 app. It's free. And then you can connect with the shoe phone, and you could be live talking with me, Dukect. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. We have guests, too, here in the chat room. And as always, if you can't call in, the chat room is locked. You can talk, you can type in your questions and everything else. They got Bobber333 here. That's guest 2. What's up, man? I will have you. And everything else. Hopefully you enjoy the show. And remember, if you're not listening live, as always, you can listen to the show on Blip and YouTube, Screw Attack, or whatever type of video service I can put on, what have you. Okay, anyway, there's some things I have to get out of the way. Let's get this, I got all the stuff out of the way. Let's talk a little bit of something. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, one of the most interesting things that happened on Monday Night Raw is honestly the Jerry the King Lawler return, which honestly, there's a lot of things I could talk about here. First off, the promo. I mean, I have no problem with him coming back. I have no idea about him coming back saying promote that, because I'm like, you know what? I would love to see that. I would love to see, like, yeah, man. Yeah. I would love just seeing Jerry Lawler, but honestly, what happened at that segment, but honestly, when I saw this, everything else, and a lot of people just really got a little disturbed was when they showed him getting that heart attack and him getting transported. That scared me, and I was like, I don't know why they showed that. I mean, I know some people have no problems in showing that and everything. I have no problem with that, but when you have that, when you saw that, it was really, some people would say that's graphically disturbing. I was a little bit disturbed by it, but not as much. I was disturbed later on, after and everything else. After when Jerry Lawler came out, hugged everybody, and hugged her and said, "Thank you to WWE Universe, the prayers. I had my prayers." Yeah, it was awkward. It was really awkward, and Bobber333 agree with me. But honestly, it's one of and then after that, you had CM Punk come out there, and he does a really heel promo and such. And I'm like, dude, I know. I have been watching this thing for a long time. I have seen WWE do some really nice things. I've seen a lot of pro wrestling companies do nasty things, but this I mean, let's all be honest here. CM Punk, I know they had something to deal with, but that just didn't really, that didn't really gel with me. I feel like, okay, why are you going to do this now? What was the point of putting this in now? You know, and then we have Paul Heyman doing a heart attack. I'm like, oh God, this is wrong. This is bad. And I feel like I know what they were trying to do, but in the end, it felt really. I'm not PC or anything else. I was like, really, just like, really. This gives ammo to the Phil Mudsticks to the world. If you remember him back in the day, it just gives ammo to those type of guys who can just point and say, see, this is why you shouldn't like professional wrestling. This type of stuff brings a black eye to everything. Yeah, I know. And Bobber33 makes a good point about the whole promo about Goldust, I think back in Raw 97. Yeah, I know. Lawler is a person who goes in far, and he agreed to it. Yes, I know. But it's a different era, people. I mean, something that could have been okay in one era does not automatically mean it's going to be good in this era. And I really think that WWE or someone I should have told them, like, it might have got heat, maybe in the 80s and 90s and such. But let's be honest, it's not going to get much heat. It's going to just really get people disgusted and people going to leave. And honestly, right, it doesn't even make sense in a whole wrestling standpoint. Is Jerry Lawler going to get a comeuppance? Is he going to fight CM Punk anytime in the near future? Probably not. And when Mick Foley came out, is Mick Foley going to fight CM Punk in the near future? No, he's not. Is this connected to Ryback or anything related to John Cena? Honestly, if John Cena went out there and did everything else, that would have made more sense. Instead, they trot out Mick Foley in a green flannel jacket, and you just say okay, and they treat this whole thing like they're still having the full Team Foley and Team Punk thing. Which again, if they had that whole thing, Survivor Series thing, I could say I kind of get that because they're pushing to a Survivor Series. Which, by the way, Monday Night Raw did a better job with their go home show for Survivor Series than with Hell in a Cell, by the way. And yes, I will preview Survivor Series and what have you. But when you look at this whole thing, when you have all of this straight up together, when you add this all up, it doesn't make any sense in a logistical point of actually getting him over. And then, I honestly would not be surprised if things will probably get forgotten about because it doesn't really involve any other people in the main event. It doesn't involve Cena. It doesn't involve Ryback. It doesn't involve The Rock, which CM Punk is going to face in January. It's not going to involve anything. It just seems like it's just there to increase CM Punk's heelness, but at this point, it's mute because either CM Punk is going to get cheers or not really any responses. That's the real issue here, and that's the problem, is that the WWE just trying to really hard to put that square peg into that round hole. It is just trying to just say CM Punk's heel, everything else, or not looking at without looking and saying, hey, maybe, just maybe, we should be doing this in another direction. I'm not saying the whole John Cena needs to turn heel, but we need some new ideas, and not try to dredge up things that honestly might get good heel heat and might get heel heat and everything else, but also carries on to the point of like making a point just as at the end of the day, what is the end point? What is the comeuppance of what have you? Because if it's all like CM Punk losing the title, that's great and all, but he already has like one of the longest championship reigns. It's not like Robert Roode or what have you. You need someone like him, unless he's gonna have a downfall like him, which I really question why Bobby Roode is or Bobby Roode, what have you, is getting another championship opportunity. To me, they should have honestly had him get pinned. I personally think he should have gotten pinned, by the way, and not be number one contender, which James Storm willfully gave up, trying to protect Jeff Hardy, have Jeff Hardy have an elongated reign, which, believe me, I will get to that later on to the show, what have you, when I talk about TNA. But getting back on point, CM Punk, I mean, honestly, he should honestly be not be into this like feud with Harry. Don't try to say, well, we're gonna put CM Punk and Ryback and so on, but you have barely any type of communications and such. I mean, they had a nice ending shot, but honestly, in that main part of the show, which, funny enough, after that segment ended, you know how many people it gained 745,000 viewers. At the end of the angle, it lost 876,000 viewers. Yeah. When you lose that many viewers and you're on your go-home show, I guarantee you most of those people are not going to buy the pay-per-view. And they're not going to, and when that word of mouth hits, I guarantee you not a lot of people are not going to buy the pay-per-view. They might not watch main event, Superstars, NXT, or SmackDown. It will keep reverberating, and when you do this type of stuff, when you make things that people are just going to be so offended to the point that no one's going to watch, well, you're just going to keep shooting yourself in the foot until, you're going to be basically where WCW is, just resting, just completely irrelevant. And I don't want that with the WWE, because if WWE goes, I don't think wrestling in America will probably ever be, will ever come back. It'd just be indies and such. And honestly, as much as I like TNA right now, I do not want them to be number one, because Lord knows they'll probably screw that up. Anyway, let's get back. I'm going to take a small little break here. Thank you so much for joining me live here in the Dixie T Lounge. We'll be right back right after this. I'm going to be talking a little bit about TNA and what their direction is going. And after that, I will be previewing Survivor Series. So thank you so much for listening to me here on the Dixie T Lounge. We'll be right back. we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Dukect Lounge. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Remember, if you're on TalkShoe Live, what have you, and you want to listen to the show, but you're not going to use your telephone, remember you can use the computer to call and use Shoe Phone, and you can download TalkShoe Live Pro 2.0, and you can download that app, and you can use Shoe Phone to connect to me, Dukect, as well. So, anyway, let's get back to the show. We're going to be talking a little bit about TNA, and then after that, we will be previewing WWE Survivor Series. Okay, now, real talk, people. I didn't watch any of TNA Impact last night. And one of the reasons why it was taped. And then, honestly, it sounded really stupid. And, honestly, to me, I was like, man, I am not going to watch a completely moronic show or what have you. Because I'm going to say this. Because, first off, why would you have James Storm, who fought as hell, because they're all going back to tapes now, and I just looked at the spoilers and everything, and I was like, this show is dreadful. First off, you have James Storm, a wrestler I like and everything else, who had this wave of momentum. Hell, super kicked AJ Styles. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait to see him, win the world title away from Jeff Hardy. It would be nice. But they have Bobby Roode come out, challenging for his number one his title win, for what have you, because he insults his little girl and everything. That's nice. So then, ladies and gentlemen, you have Bobby Roode win the match later that night at the main event. Roode wins the title, which honestly at this point, if you're going to have Bobby Roode win this tonight, why don't you have him win on the pay-per-view if he would have pinned AJ Styles? I think that would have made a lot more sense. I'm sorry, but, that little bit of logic just keeps coming in. If you're going to have a person win on pay-per-view a hugely important number one contender match and have him win the next night on Impact, have him lose, not lose like AJ Styles, they'll just be not being around for the pin, and then have him win the number one contendership match on an Impact, the question then becomes, why didn't you let him win at the pay-per-view? But if anyone can go home happy, what have you, and well then, why not have Jeff Hardy lose the TNA title or something like that? Which again, I don't think he should be having right now because honestly, I think honestly Samoa Joe should have been the person to go into the Samoa Joe should have been the one who won the TNA title. He should have won the Survivor Series tournament because he's just, this guy was finally getting booked the way he should be being booked. Yeah, I know. It's just basically they're trying to do everything else to placate Jeff Hardy again. Why are they going to keep trying to placate him again? And I'm sorry, I just keep pressing at this point is that Jeff Hardy should not be in anywhere near the main event. And this should not be anywhere near the TNA main event structure. I don't care what he's done. Even for a year, I would like him being in a Survivor Series tournament, yeah, but it is way too soon for him to not even have a championship opportunity, but much less a championship match. Because I honestly just think that someone like him, when you have the championship, he's going to, I'm just waiting. And I don't want to be this person. I don't want to I want to hope and pray Jeff Hardy finally gets it and finally moves on, hopefully becomes a more productive member, not only in wrestling, but also a member of society, that he's learned and learned from his mistakes and becomes a better person. But we've been through this before. If he would have done so, he should have learned back in 2003 and 4, or 2002, 2003, and 2004, and back in 2008 and 9, and All those other times with Jeff Hardy was just no showing shows or getting, it's just failing drug tests, that sort of thing. I know he's a star. I know he's a draw. Everyone knows this. But I have to say, we have California here. Hello?
This is Barbara 33.
Hey, Barbara, how you doing?
Hey, I just want to give my thoughts about the whole James Storm situation.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I just don't understand why TNA decided to pretty much give him the No. 1 contendership and then take it away from him the next week. It just doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah, and you know what? It's TNA for this. I think they're trying to swerve for the better part of being just trying to, we're just trying to keep swerving just to keep everything, to keep people guessing. But at the end of the day, it just hurts your wrestlers. It hurts them to a point that they're not even a part of the show. Like, it's just like, you know what? Fine.
I don't understand why James Storm pretty much stays at TNA. I heard rumor that he was offered a WWE contract but declined it. I'm not sure if that's true.
Yeah, but that should be emboldened the TNA to keep him around and keep him happy. That's the sort of thing, that's one of the things I really, honestly, just go ahead.
Personally, I should think that James Storm should have been champion at Bound for Glory. I think him and Austin Aries would have a great match and great promos. I mean, Samoa Joe is a good choice as well, but I think James Storm really deserves it the most.
Yeah, but what about Bobby Roode? That's the question. I haven't seen Bound for Glory yet, and I will see it once I get on DVD or when I get a chance to look at it, because I heard they had a hell of a way to finish away their feud. And honestly, to me, the Bobby Roode, honestly, as long as the championship reign, he doesn't need another title reign this quickly. I think maybe Bobby Roode should just be, at this point, I think he should have lost the match. I think he should have won to get 8 to pin. Honestly, I think it would have been better story-wise that, honestly, AJ Styles should have picked up the victory as, like, say, James Storm kicks Bobby Roode, and then at the last call, AJ comes in, hits a Pele or something to James Storm, picks up, pins Bobby Roode, becomes the number 1 contender. It's like, hey, you cheated, like that sort of thing. Like, hey, you can say he's still a face by pinning Bobby Roode, the leader of the Selfish Generation, and the big heel of Bobby Roode, but also be like, hey, wait a minute, he stole something from James Storm. James Storm still looks like, hey, man, and then you can set up like a face or AJ turning to a heel, having him face Jeff Hardy or what have you, have him lose to Jeff Hardy, and just have him just flip or what have you, and just have him, go completely insane and that sort of thing, and have him, that sort of thing, just to keep him, and just to change things up, have that AJ say, I am the face of TNA, and you're not, like that sort of thing, to Rude or not Rude, but I think that would have been better. Yeah, it's hard everything.
Yeah, I think that could also work on Austin Aries.
Yeah. I don't know why Austin Aries and AJ haven't feuded yet.
Yeah.
Just hopefully they do so soon. And hopefully it's not stupid as like AJ and Christian, which I was hyped up for back in 2006. I thought that was going to be a good feud, but yeah, it really just bugs me that every time you see something really good, but yet TNA seems to find a way to not be special.
Well, they pretty much got something good to begin with, but they just can't execute it properly, and they keep on pretty much winning the shot of having a good story or match or story.
Yeah, that's the problem with TNA, man. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for the call, man, and thank you so much for joining me, Barbara, man. And spread the word.
All right. See ya.
All right, peace. All righty. That was a fun little call from Barbara333. Thank you so much for joining me, Duke CT. Anyway, we'll be right back here on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be talking right after this little break. We will be talking about Survivor Series and previewing it here on the Duke CT Lounge. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the Duke CT Lounge. Phone number, as always, is 724-444-7444. And once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Duke CT, is 92417. The call ID is 92417. And remember, Shoe Phone is for people who download TalkShoe Live Pro 2.0 app. And you can download it. And bam, you can talk to me live for your shoe phone, so you don't need to spend all your minutes talking to me, Duke CT. Anyway, let's get down to business, people. Let's get down to previewing WWE Survivor Series, one of the most interesting pay-per-views that WWE have. One of the most long-reigning pay-per-views that WWE has gotten. It has. This is one of the big four. This is the pay-per-view that The Undertaker debuted, and a young Rocky Maivia debuted as well. This is the 26th annual Survivor Series. And ladies and gentlemen, let's look into the card of this illustrious pay-per-view. First up, we have the pre-show, as we have 3MB, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, which we don't know who is going to face the team of Team Cobra, Zack Ryder, and Santino Marella. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't care. I don't care about Team Cobra. I don't care about 3MB. It's probably going to be Slater and Mahal, because Drew McIntyre has some personal things he's dealing with. I think his someone is close to his family. I think his mom passed away. I think that was his mom. His mom passed away. So I think he's going to miss. I don't know if he's going to, because he's not been in WWE for a while, Raw for a while. So I think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be. In fact, no. It just basically says that he's going to. The Drew McIntyre will not be present at the pay-per-view because he has to deal with the death of his mother or what have you. It is. Very sensitive subject. Yeah. Oh, that's downer. Anyway, let's bring the mood back up, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be talking about next up is the Survivor Series match. Oh, as a winner, 3MB beats Cobra for the pre-show. Anyway, next Survivor Series match, a United States Championship match as Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth. And honestly, I don't care about this match either. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be an okay match. But honestly, Antonio Cesaro has been a non-entity as United States champion. So, in my personal opinion, I think that Antonio Cesaro is probably going to win, but I would not be surprised if R-Truth, they're going to dump the title R-Truth, because Cesaro, since winning at the SummerSlam pre-show, he's just there. I'm sorry. He's just there, and there's nothing really interesting about him. He tries to do, he has nice moves, the European uppercut and the big swing. I hope they make him use that more. I hope he gets more of that offense, because a lot of people would like to see that stuff out of him. He's a big guy who could be as dominant and as honest and be a huge draw if the WWE lets him to be. But this thing is not doing well. I just don't see him being well with this type of gimmick. I don't know. I wish he could be well, but I just don't see it. Anyway, I have Cesaro winning this match. Next up, Survivor Series is a Divas match, Eve versus Caitlyn. And honestly, I don't care. But if I had to pick, I'd say Caitlyn, because this whole storyline of taking out Caitlyn and everything else, I just don't care. I don't care about this storyline. It's a completely pointless and utterly wasteful storyline that honestly doesn't really do much for Eve or Caitlyn. They're trying to book character development like Eve and Caitlyn, but honestly, the crowd doesn't care. And WWE doesn't really care, because they're trying to make this the important storyline, but you have to do it with characters and wrestlers that people are interested in seeing. No one's interested in Eve. No one's interested in Caitlyn. The only diva of note that people are interested in actually was Karma, because of the unique look she had. In fact, people were interested in Beth Phoenix, but they just jobbed her out, and I'm not really surprised. She's not going to get anywhere in the WWE, so that's why she asked for her release. I'm not surprised that Natalya and hasn't asked for her release yet, since they're not really doing anything with her. Now, anyway, I have Caitlyn winning. Oh, okay. Next up, we have the Survivor Series rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship as the Great White Sheamus tries to reclaim his World Heavyweight title against the 7-foot, 500-pound KO machine, The Big Show. And I have to say, this was actually a pretty good match the last time they faced. I really wish it wasn't a Hell in a Cell. I think that match would have been a lot better. This time, however, can they strike lightning in a bottle once again? I hope so, but I really hope. I hope they can. But if they don't, I won't be surprised. I have, believe it or not, Sheamus winning the match. Big Show losing, but yet knocks out Sheamus, and bam! And then next show, Ziggler comes out, cashes in the Money in the Bank, wins the world title, and then you can just have him feud, and Big Show can say he lost in 8 seconds. He had an 8-second title reign, a 45, like a 30-second title reign, and an 8-second match or something like that, which would be very interesting. Next up, then, we have the traditional Survivor Series matchup, where we have Team Foley with The Miz, Kofi Kingston, Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan, and the Monster Kane, and the Viper Randy Orton taking on Team Ziggler with Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett, Rhodes Scholars, Cody Rhodes, and Damian Sandow. You're welcome. And Alberto Del Rio. Well, this match, I have to say, it could be a good match. I have some expectations because, honestly, all these people are talented, really talented. And the only thing that's going to happen is either Miz is going to betray Survivor Series, either going to betray him, or he's going to be one to get the pin. That is the real storyline of this matchup. I have Team Ziggler. Right now, I'm going to lean with Team Foley winning. I have Team Foley winning with the Miz solidifying his babyface turn because there's nothing else for this character to do. I have him winning the tanks of Team Miz. And by the way, is Kofi Kingston still the Intercontinental Champion, by the way? But yeah, he is. I just keep forgetting about that. That's what. It's just sad that the mid-card belts are completely and utterly forgettable. Oh, well, that's what the WWE does. They just take any championship and just say, well, they make it completely and utterly pointless. Ah, yes, the great WWE booking. It's beautiful. And finally, our main event we have for the triple threat match for the WWE Championship. As the champion, the man who has held the title one of the longest reigns of the WWE Championship since John Cena, CM Punk, will take on John Cena and Big Hungry Ryback. I'm going to say this. As much as I think Ryback is as talented, I think he's talented. I think he's a really talented wrestler. Skip Sheffield or whatever. I think he's a very talented big man. But the way he's using it, I don't know. I just don't know. I know he's very interesting. He can do great power moves. When he had that match against him and Punk, I'm sorry, it was terrible. It was a bad match and a very piss-poor finish to protect Punk. And I'm like, if this was going to be the match, him just CM Punk running around, barely getting Ryback, what have you, it doesn't make any sense. Even power wrestlers have some weaknesses. And that's the problem. They booked Ryback to have little to no weaknesses. And honestly, as good as it is, it's nice for a while, but eventually people are going to be like, yeah, Ryback is great, but you need a challenge. That's what Goldberg, the chance that, hey, yeah, I mean, the flaw is that you never had any type of vulnerability. That sort of thing. I mean, he was just powerhouse and everything else. But once you show that vulnerability, that's why you have wrestlers that show vulnerability have a lot more of a lasting impression. Goldberg, people chant him because he did have, that he was a once-in-a-lifetime type of guy who was just this huge badass, But let's be real. The more people remember, like, for example, more people remember someone like Hulk Hogan fighting back from adversity, or Macho Man, Sting, Steve Austin, Bret Hart, The Rock, a lot more other guys. There's a lot more people. You can, if you're vulnerable, people can identify with you more. And it's a shame that Ryback, his character, has never really seen any vulnerability. And when you have no vulnerability, people just, as everything else, they call you Goldberg, just completely bland and what have you. I mean, hell, Kurt Angle shows vulnerability. I mean, before he heights up and everything. I mean, but you have to show that vulnerability, and Cena has that sometimes, and Punk can do that very well as well, showing that vulnerability. But honestly, Ryback, I never see him in a vulnerable position. That, to me, if he can do that, I think it could really help him in his favor and help him overall in his career. Right now, however, he's just not vulnerable. I just don't care. He's just going to no-sell everything. That's going to be the problem. And I just see CM Punk pinning John Cena And so we'll probably have Ryback in a table or a chairs match to finish off this whole Ryback and Punk feud. And then we'll go into The Rock if CM Punk versus The Rock. Yeah, that's why I see this is going to happen. So, honestly, I have CM Punk winning the Survivor Series match and continue on his reign until he defeats the Great One, until he faces the Great One himself. The Rock wins. He goes on to face John Cena, and Cena wins and takes back his loss from The Rock and has another completely pointless championship reign. But, hey, that's just me. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and joining me here at the Dukect Lounge. I want to thank Barbara333 for joining me, and hopefully spread the word, people. This is, spread on your Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. I'm getting that from LC, from Raw and Sin. By the way, you should watch that, too. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, I know I haven't done any last year. The last year standing was in September, but it's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to finish editing I just finished shooting the Marine 2. I'm going to be doing the Marine 2. After that, I will be doing, believe it or not, Survivor Series. And after that, something special. In other words, that's my plan. And I'm almost done editing everything else after I'm finishing everything else editing for Marine 2. Hopefully it will be up by tomorrow. Hopefully after this podcast is up, hopefully on Saturday and or Sunday. I'll probably upload this podcast early because it's picking up for pay-per-views. It'll be really stupid for me uploading my picks after like 2 days after the show or what have you. No one will watch. But anyway. Yeah, I'm rambling here, but that's what I've been doing anyway. But anyway, what have you? I will be doing the Dukect last review standing. The episode, the Marine 2, will be up hopefully by at latest will be Monday. And again, I apologize for waiting y'all too long, and hopefully hopefully you guys enjoy it. Anyway, this is it. Thank you so much for listening from me and the Dukect Lounge. I can't wait to talk about next week. Thanksgiving next week. The show will still be here, because I'm doing this for you, the people, and gosh darn, I love doing the show because I had nothing else better to do. Anyway, after that, I will be doing the show on Black Friday and everything else because I have no money and I need to, make money if I'm doing this podcast, man. Spread the word, please. I need your money. Okay, I'm going to end the show now. I'm just rambling. Anyway, thank y'all guys. Seriously, thank you so much for joining me. Dukect Live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Dukect. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.